Well, hey folks, it's your old pal King Waspinator here. Welcome back to Total Party Skills. Tonight I wanted to talk about another mashup idea I had, where you take one of the more interesting, non-standardized OSR game systems, and then you pair it up with a classic Advanced Dungeons & Dragons setting. In this case, we're going to take Mutant Crawl Classics, the sister game to Dungeon Crawl Classics, and in my own personal opinion, a slightly better game than Dungeon Crawl Classics. And we're going to mash it into the classic AD&D Dark Sun setting. This is the very original version of Dark Sun, the box set, although printed up as a hardcover from Drive-Thru RPG. This concept, I mean, you can also use the revised version of the box set that came out, the kind of the more greener, friendlier world of Athos after the, what was it called, the Prism Pentad saga came to an end. Or you can also use the 4th edition D&D version of the Dark Sun setting, campaign setting book. The important thing that you're pulling out of here is the map itself, and you can use some of the rules for surviving the environment, and just to get a general sense for the cultural air and history and all that kind of stuff. There are things though that you're not going to be able to keep the same as written in this in order to be able to turn it into a Mutant Crawl Classics game. For one thing, you're going to have to flip some of the races out from Dark Sun. My recommendation for most of them would be you can have the mutant humans fill the same kind of niche that mules and half-giants play in human society. Humans would still be, the dominant race. The feral halflings that live up at the top of the mountain range that surrounds the central inland Sea of Silt. I would replace them with the Plantians, and like the desert-dwelling elves, switch them out with Manimals. The Thri-Kreen, if you want to have playable Thri-Kreen, you could have them be like a subset of the Manimals, the ones that are insect-based in appearance, or you could place the Thri-Kreen as like the Devil Ants out of the Mutant Crawl Classics books. Generally, the idea here is to use the creatures, magic system, and character classes as writ out of this book, and you're just translating it into something that has a Dark Sun shell. You're not going to have the psionic abilities, obviously. Somehow, the whole theme in Dark Sun is that, you have the defiling magic that drains life, and then there's a more carefully practiced form of magic that doesn't cause the planet to die faster. In Mutant Crawl Classics, the background's going to be obviously more kind of less so much nuclear war, and this is more like a world that was destroyed by industrial degradation. And so you could have it that maybe some of the AIs that are presented in the Mutant Crawl Classic book, the way they would function within the Dark Sun setting is more of a defiling, industrially destructive type of technology and approach to pulling magic in the form of mental programs and all that kind of stuff. And you can have other AIs, be the more benevolent, rarer and harder to get in contact types, whose practitioners don't do the same level of incidental evil to those around them. You surround the entire outer rim of the inland sea and the crowning mountains. You can just have all that be a radiation zone. I would personally do something glitchy, like naming the city of Tyr into the city of Tyre. You potentially could use an AI as one of the sorcerer kings of one of the cities, or potentially they could just be powerful people who've risen up in the ranks. The idea here is that, this is just a project for you because, you've been sitting cooped up for a year plus without having a chance to run a game with anyone in person. And maybe just like tinkering around with something, just to see what you come up with. So, there you go. Take Dark Sun, take Mutant Crawl Classics, and bam! Tell me in the comments below what you created with it. Have a good one, and stay waspinated. Oh, I guess you could like and subscribe or whatever. I don't care.